Hi, I'm Zach X9. Welcome to my little lesson on Ludology. Today we're going to be looking at Ludology through Madden 22 Ultimate Team, the team building and gameplay aspect. We're going to be drawing upon different types of rules that help create this game. We're going to talk about how the players have shifted these rules. We're going to be talking about regulative rules, constitutive rules. We're going to be talking about the magic circle and idealist points of view and how those all connect with games and this game specifically. We're going to be drawing upon FIFA Magic Circle by Stephen Conway and Tetris Rules by Rolf Nohr. And we're also going to bring up ideas from Homo Ludens by Johann Huizinga. Okay, so what the magic circle is basically is when you enter a field of play, you're leaving all your preconceived notions, your real world rules out in the real world while you enter this field of play and nothing else matters. Kind of with the claim that you don't take really much of what you apply from the real world into the game. And it's kind of this idea that Huizinga brings up of that play came first and the ideas of play really led to what happens in the real world. And he's an idealist, which in the FIFA Magic Circle chapter of the book was described as an idealist is being described as when ideas generate our interactions with the material world rather than the material world generating our interactions with ideas. So basically, we form ideas through the game. We bring those ideas to the real world rather than the other way around. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be looking at when in terms of Ultimate Team is the team building aspect. So basically, the goal of this game is you build a team. There's a bunch of different cards, different players, different positions, everything. And the goal is really to build the best team you can. And you do that through playing games, playing challenges in order to get coins you see on the top right. Use those coins to buy players. You can do sets and just find different ways to get these players. And I think that when you look at the magic circle aspect, when you compare it to this, it's kind of like we do bring the things we know from our outside world into this game in terms of how we want to go about it, the players you want to get. For example, like I'm a Cowboys fan, so I got a bunch of Cowboys players on my team, and basically it's a reflection of what we do in our everyday lives in that we are acquiring these coins to get assets. It's like the real world. In the real world, you have a job, you use that job to buy nice things, buy a house, you could have a better life. And it kind of in this game, you you do these challenges, which are a lot of the times tedious, and you do those in order to get coins, in order to be able to buy better players and be able to have the best team you can. All right, so we're going to shift gears here and we're going to talk about the two main types of rules. And there's constitutive rules and there's regulative rules. And basically, constitutive rules are the rules that are ingrained into a game. For example, in this game, we're going to get into it in a second. It's the rules of football that are going to allow you to play the game, complete the game. And there's regulative rules, which are rules that are kind of created by the community and things that people discover through playing the game. And they're not necessarily embedded into the code of the game. It's like, okay, if I'm playing this game, I have to do this. And I'm going to show you some examples of that in this game. For example, one, the meta for this game is running Gunslinger on your quarterback. You have to run it or else everyone's going to intercept you. It's something that the community has decided. And the game has, in turn, to make it less overpowered, to make the meta less overpowered, they made it cost more points to actually use Gunslinger. But everyone still uses it because it's so important. And if you're playing an online game on Ultimate Team, you have to use Gunslinger. And it's not, like I said, it's not in the code of the game, but at the same time, it's kind of a rule. It's basically a rule if you want to be successful. And then we're going to go to the other regulative rules. I guess I'll go to Keyshawn Johnson for this one, and I'll show you the other two. Other two things that I will designate as regulative rules are the height and the speed of a player. The speed and the height are the two most important things. There's 100 stats on there, catching, jumping, route running, but the most important are speed and height for basically most every position on the field. That's not in the game, because in the game, someone could have 99 speed and have 60 of everything else, and he'll still be like a 60 overall. But he'd be a good player because he has the 99 speed. And this is basically because of how the game is played, and I'll be able to show you that in a bit when I start the gameplay. but it's just another great example of how the community kind of shapes the rules of games, and it's not always just the constitutive rules that are actually in the code of a game or in the rules of a game if it's not a video game. All right, so now we're going to hop into an actual game, and we're going to be able to use the actual gameplay to talk about some of different um, the different constitutive rules and the different regulative rules and how they're actually used in the game. We're also going to talk about the magic circle and how it applies to this game, and overall just the rule bases of this game. All right, to start, you already see kind of the circle, the magic circle we hop into, this playground we're hopping into in a way, this field of play. It's obviously just a football field. It's actually a whole stadium meant to emulate an NFL game. And if this guy would ever kick the ball off, we could start the plays. Okay, so we see that this is a football game, right? You're basically playing football in the video game. So basically, the bulk of the constitutive rules will just be football, right? If you ever play football, out of bounds, touchdown, 6 points, field goal, 3 points, the basic rules. And it's kind of simple like that if you really watch football outside of the game. It's pretty easy to get a hold of the rules of the game. It's really just learning the controls, which are also pretty simple. So it's actually pretty easy to get held down to the constitutive rules of the game. You see, you have to call your own plays, and each play really can lead to a different outcome. It's better to use certain plays, and it's a pick in certain situations. Like right there, I shouldn't have done that, but whatever. I just see we're on defense now, and I'm gonna talk about what I consider to be the meta of this game, and what the kind of the rules the community has decided. So basically, the main meta are running man defense and blitzing the quarterback, getting as much pressure as you can on defense. On offense, I'll show you when I get there. It's a lot of deep crossers and things like that. Overall, you don't have to run these, like I said, but at the same time, it's how you win. It's how you're successful in the game. Oh, come on, Zach. And we get a sack on fourth down. That's our ball. And I think that right there is a perfect example of my next point, which is play style and how that affects and how that connects to the whole idealism and magic circle prospect of the game. So basically, how you choose to play is all up to you. The two best ways to play the game, I'd say, are really being aggressive and throwing the ball deep, blitzing a lot on defense, or playing conservative and running the ball a lot, chewing the clock, playing more zone defense. And that's really based on your experiences. I think how you are as a person will obviously affect how you play the game, how you approach things. Like I have friends who play this game. They're much more conservative in the game than me, and I like to take risks, throw deep passes, blitz a lot, and a lot of times I score a lot of points, but I give up a lot of points. But that's okay with me. I think that's just that type of person I am, and I think that kind of shows how we connect our real world experiences to a game, and I think that shows the magic circle identity of Housinga and how it's kind of flawed in a way. But I also do think that the points he makes are very prevalent, and you can see how that works in this game. Touchdown. All right, so we're back on defense. I'm going to go into how Housinga's his explanation of the magic circle does apply to this game and to most video games. So basically, at the end of the day, I've invested a lot of time, a lot of energy into this game. And really, in 10, 20 minutes when this game's over, I'm going to. Oh, hold up. Oh, what a play. Oh my gosh. But really, in 10, 20 minutes when this game's over, I'm going to hop off and go and continue my day. And this really doesn't have any effect on my real world right? And so there really is a separation because when I'm playing this game and I'm invested, I feel like it's all that matters, right? But in all actuality, that's not true. And this game really doesn't have any effect on my real life. That's kind of how a lot of games are. But it's the act of putting yourself into the game, allowing yourself to be at play, not just adhering to the rules that are set in the game, but creating your own metas, your own ways of having fun that I think help us learn and help us grow in the real world. I think it's time I show you guys how I usually play the game when I'm fully focused. So basically deep cross routes like I just ran right there, deep post routes are really the meta of this game. It's kind of the way the community created to win. Um, I wouldn't say the community created it. I think that the community, I wouldn't say created it. Like I just said, I would say that they kind of found out that's the way to win, right? With how the game is built and how the code is built and the rules, all that have constructed that. And that is right there why speed and height are so important because my guy was fast enough to get open there. But if he wasn't open, I could have thrown the ball high and he probably still would have caught it over a defender. And I think right there is a perfect example of the meta of the game because he was so open because because of his speed and two, because of the deep crossing routes. We got 4th and 1 here. Big decision for him. He's going to go for it. He's going to play risky. We're seeing a guy who's not afraid to take the risks. We're going to see how it pays off for him. 2-minute warning. Ooh. Let's see if he still goes with it. He went for it. Did he get it? No, he didn't. Let's go. So here's the strategy here. We score before halftime, and we could hopefully play conservative in the second half and get this win. Okay, so that didn't go as planned. Now it's 4th down, and we're just gonna kick a field goal so we can take the 2-possession lead. Hopefully I don't miss. Money. All right, we see he's driving. Decision-making time for him. He's not using his timeouts. Hopefully we could hold this 2-possession lead going into the half. I don't know if he realizes that he has timeouts. If he realizes that there's no time left. I don't know. Bro is just not focused. That's a tackle. 3, 2, 1. Halftime. And we have the lead. We'll hopefully can get this win. All right, now that we're in the second half, we're calm. I'm going to talk about some things that I've noticed in this game and many games that could kind of suspend your active play and your perfect timing. Could suspend your, what's the word I'm looking for? Suspend your just focus on the game and your how ingrained you are with it. When things like lag and like that happen, you kind of get taken away. Picks. Let's go. Let's take it back. You kind of get taken away from the investment you're taking because you've kind of it's in a way a spoil sport lag. The people who rage quit, who they just ruin the fun of the game. That definitely exists in this game and a lot of games, and I think that that's something Housinger brought up that was very accurate, especially to this game, and I think that's a real connection there. All right, so my plan now is to do something that I usually don't do, which is run the ball a lot, chew the clock, and try and get this win. We have a 10-point lead. It does not make sense for me to be throwing the ball around trying to score. I could hold this lead and win the game. And this is another thing I think, how you can connect others this game. I think you connect any game to life in this way. And the fact that you have to really think. And you have to use strategy. You have to use common sense and critical thinking in order to basically be successful in any game, right? The smart thing to do for me here is to just run the clock out. I'm up by 2 scores. I don't need to do anything crazy. I got to play smart. And a lot of times you can add that to life because a lot of times in life you have to make decisions like that. It's like, okay, I want to do this, but I should do that, right? I want to go throw the ball in the end zone for 10 more minutes, but if I really want to win, I'm going to do what I'm doing now. Even though I'm not being the most successful, it's almost the fourth quarter. I'm up by 10. I'll be up by probably 13 to 17 after this drive, and I think that's another way you could connect not just game to end game to real life, and I think that's how I feel like games kind of go outside ludology. They go outside their rule sets. I think that there's so much more than that because of us and because of the players and how we're able to connect and grow and build upon those rules to be successful and have fun too. We're going to punt it here. I thought about not punting it. Then I just gave a whole speech about being smart. So I'm gonna be smart here. Punt the ball away and try and play some defense. Boom. Oh no, he's wide open. Good tackle. Good tackle. Making me regret my punt decision. But we're starting the fourth quarter up by 10. If I play right, I should win this. All right, let's run this. Run this man blitz, and we're going to press his receivers, and we're going to make him make a play on us. And we almost get the sack. It's looking good. It's looking like we're going to win this one. I believe in the team. We're going to press even on 3rd and 10. I'm going to blitz my guy. We're going to get to the quarterback. We're going to get a sack. Called it. I called it. Genius. A mastermind. Love to see it. Love to see it. So we are back on offense. We got to stop there. I think my recording cut out. I'm sorry about that. But we are going to go back to our run game. He's been able to stop it. But I think it's not going to matter because I think we're going to be able to chew the clock out with enough time to get this win. My game is being very laggy in the loading screens right now. I do not know why. That's not the most fun thing in the world, but we'll deal with it. This is why a lot of times I don't run the ball, right? Because it seems smart in my head, but I always find myself just not being successful. So we're gonna throw it here. We're gonna do my bread and butter, and we're gonna see if we can secure this game. See that deep post? We'll put a deep post and a deep cross right there. It's really hard to guard. Someone's gonna be open. He's open. Go down. Don't want to score a touchdown here. Want to be smart. Want to make smart decisions. That should have secured the game. And the last play right there, I think, shows probably to a T why Gunslinger is the meta and why everyone agrees that you should use it if you want to get down, get down, get down. Everyone agrees that you should use it. You see how fast that ball goes for 40 yards. You know, that's not the most realistic thing in the world, right? Not a lot of quarterbacks are going to throw a 40-yard ball at 70 miles per hour like that just was. But that's what makes, I think, doesn't always have to be the most realistic. It's about having fun, and it's a perfect example right there, though, of how we play the game, we learn what's the best, we create our own rules, things like that. All right, last play of the game. We're going to take our knee. We're going to walk away. Oh, come on. All right. Here, prime example of a spoil sport. I won the game. The game's over, but he wants to call his timeouts now to try and prolong the game. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna score a touchdown on you, cause you think you're slick. So touchdown, baby. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Let's go. See, things like that, what you just did, kind of like kill that immersion for me sometimes, because like I'm out here celebrating my win, getting ready to, I don't know, drink some celebratory soda. I don't know. And then he does that to try and annoy me, which it kind of worked. But you hate to see that because that would never happen in a real game. It really just kind of destroys the immersion. But it is what it is. It's still a fun game, and let's. Almost done. Just like that. Sweet, sweet victory, 24-7. We love to see it. I don't know what's going on here. The game's not ending. There we go. Just like that. Got a win on the board. Played the game good. Was smart about it. Played really good defense for once. I said at the beginning I was risky. Didn't really have to play that way this game. Table able to play really good defense and happy about it. So now we won. Everything's good. We're looking good. Today we were able to cover a lot of good topics. We were able to cover how Madden works in the Magic Circle, how you're able to immerse yourself in the game, but also how you're able to use parts of your real world and parts of your life in order to help you build the team and win games. We're also able to talk about how regulative rules and constitutive rules work together, how us as a gaming community are able to help make the games better and learn and grow, and really love this game as much as it does anger me sometimes. And I love games in general. I think that games are so much more than the rules. I think that we are able to make them so much better. Use those rules to make the games the best they can be. And that is my little session on ludology and also how we affect games.